The COVID-19 pandemic has made many of us see opportunity that we had never seen or realized before. I'm talking about those that are positively thinking and looking at some of these circumstances. Now, we have a story of a professor who for a long time has been practicing farming, but had never discovered the marketing side of agricultural produce. And today, because of the pandemic, he has actually come to appreciate the importance of that. He shares his experience in this segment.
I'm Christopher Mbazira. I'm a professor of law in Makerere. I'm the principal of the School of Law in Makerere. That's my professional qualification and what I take as my day job. Amicus Consortium was started a couple of years back as a family business. It has a number of activities and enterprises. One of the principal activities is Amicus Mixed Farm. We have a farm which is located in Chichurusa, Luwero. We have a number of activities on the farm. We have goat rearing, we have cattle rearing, we have poultry, we have fish farming and gardening as well. Last year, at the beginning of the year, when the lockdown started, we committed most of our time to working on the farm because school was closed, of course. It was not possible to do the usual activity, so we gave so much time to the farm. And a number of ideas and innovations came up. One of the ideas we conceived with my wife was that we could actually use the fact that we were free to move because we have a truck to actually ferry food from the farm and distribute the food to mainly our neighbors. So we started getting food in small quantities. Initially, we were doing it for charity, just to help people that were starving. But along the way, we thought then that it could transform into a business because so many people could not access the market, or at least we could access the farm. We were also able to get food from neighboring farms and subsistence farmers. So that's how the Amicus food delivery business started. It started small by selling food door to door, delivering food to neighbors. Later we started delivering food to friends, and then we started advertising the service, especially on Facebook, WhatsApp groups and social media outlets like that. So the business has since grown. We do supply food every Wednesday and Saturday, door to door. We take orders electronically, Facebook, WhatsApp, also telephonically. We then prepare the orders. As you'll see this morning, we are preparing the orders. We prepare, pack the orders, and then do the door-to-door delivery. So that's what we do. At the moment, we employ up to 15 people, including people that take care of the farm. We have drivers that engage in delivery. The reason we ventured into this business, of course, was one, to supplement our income. Yes, I'm employed by the government of Uganda, but of course one has to do something that enhances the family income. But also my wife was unemployed at the time, so we thought then that she could be in charge of the business. Actually, she manages the business as the managing director. So it's largely a family business. What sets us apart, one, in terms of the food delivery, we supply fresh food gotten straight from the farm. So be sure when you get food from us, we are not giving you food that has been in the market for days or that has been stored somewhere and then it has lost its freshness. And of course, when food is stored for a long time, it not only loses the freshness, but it also becomes toxic in some respects. Our food is transported in a safe, hygienic manner, so that's very, very important. So quality is key. We are also trying to be sure that we provide an efficient service in terms of delivery on time, in terms of attending to the customer needs. We take our customer feedback seriously. When you get feedback from a customer, then we try as much as possible to address their needs. Well, as I've mentioned, we're also trying to weave a social enterprise in the business. So it's not just about making money, but it's also about helping out. As I mentioned, we have employed a number of people, and as also mentioned, we use part of the proceeds of the business to support those that may be facing challenges where we can. So I think those are some of the things that set us apart.
I'm the Managing Director of Amicus Consortium Uganda Limited. The achievement so far, I think the best achievement for me is that we have made friends. We have really made a lot of social capital. We have met people. We have met people in high places because of the work that we do. And also the clientele base has really increased because of course, vigorous advertising. Some of the challenges that we get, for example, right now that we are in the lockdown, movement is a little bit hard because sometimes we get issues with traffic police because they say the vans cannot cross the district, but the truck can cross. So sometimes we have a lot of food and the truck alone cannot bring all the food. So you find yourself that you have to drive here, bring the first lot, and then go back to Luwero and bring the second one. And that's quite costly. So that is a challenge. Then the other challenge also is freshness. Some of the food that we bring from the farm, especially greens, things like green pepper, sometimes if you don't preserve well, you find that the greens have withered, and you want to give a client something that is very fresh. So we want to brand and then get more vehicles. It will address the challenge.
Investing in government securities is the focus of our How to Make Money segment today. Take a look.
Well, I just want to urge Ugandans to really consider serving through the capital markets, through financial instruments provided by the people we license. And Ugandans should not just invest in anything because it appears to be too good. And many times, many of these schemes that we've seen Ugandans running afoul, they promise very high returns, right? And yet they don't think about return of their investment. They're focusing only on the return on the investment. So I really want to urge every Ugandan, before they invest in anything that looks like a financial asset, to check whether the providers have been licensed or approved by the Capital Markets Authority. In that way, that's the only way of really ensuring that their savings are safe for the long term.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Now, as we all move or migrate online, there is a lot of demand for where to store all our videos, all our sounds and text. And of course, data centers come into the picture. Now, Uganda and Ugandans in particular are already smelling the coffee in this particular area and are investing into data centers. Today, we pay special attention to the kind of investments that are coming into that, plus unpacking what a data center is.
So Raxia Data Center is, we recently launched the first Tier 3 level facility in Uganda. For you who might not know what a data center is or might not be very fully compliant about Tier 3 and what that means, a data center is basically an environment or a building where we store IT equipment. But what we mean by Tier 3 is that it is basically the second highest level of data center globally. Tier 4 is the highest, Tier 3 is the second highest, and this is measured based on basically what you have installed in the data center to provide a good quality, stable service for your customers. We are in an era of data, we are in an age of data, so you find everything is highly computerized and there's a lot of data being generated. Where do they store this data? Most people right now store this data in-house, but it's not resilient enough. So in case there is an issue like maybe a loss of connectivity or the power has gone out, or maybe a theft or a burglary, you find that this data could get lost and it can affect service provision. So data centers are designed to be an off-site location that basically enterprises can rely on to be able to store data off-site. This just doesn't apply only to enterprises. It also applies to the public sector. We are in an era where the governments are also trying to digitalize. We're in an era where governments are enforcing data protection and privacy policies. We're in an era where the governments are emphasizing keeping data in country. So data centers provide this location where you can actually have this data stored. But I guess to yourself, you might be thinking, I'm an SME or I'm just a private individual. How does this benefit me? This also cuts across to SMEs. SMEs usually have challenges because they cannot invest in infrastructure on their own. They don't have money to invest in servers, to invest in high-end routers, to invest in applications. So they are looking for someone who can actually provide them with cloud services. And cloud services basically enable SMEs to be able to pay as they grow, to scale. So you can actually be able to access a portion of a server to be able to also compete with maybe the bigger enterprise who's providing the same kind of service. So let's think about internet, for example. Currently, when you use your internet, you buy internet from a telecom company or a service provider. Somehow, your requests or whatever you're surfing is sitting on some servers somewhere. So you're using your social media, for example, WhatsApp or Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, whatever it is that you prefer, or all of them. Where does your data sit? It sits on servers that are sitting globally. What's happening is that we are building this data center because that can actually attract these servers to be brought into Uganda. Why does this help you? One, it becomes cheaper, it becomes faster, it becomes more reliable. So basically why this is a big deal for us is one, it helps the economy in terms of the private sector being stable with disaster recovery in an offsite location, the public sector being able to actually leverage this facility for the digital migration or the digitalization of the economy and providing services to you. When you think about public sector, a lot of people think it doesn't matter, but you think about, like, for example, your national ID, think about your driving permit, think about your passport, think about all these health facilities and services that are currently being rolled out and deployed for e-health and remote support. A doctor in Kampala should be able to support a doctor sitting somewhere in Kotido, in Kitgum, in Kavale, in Kalangala, name it. And all the things work if you have actual information systems deployed somewhere. So this is a big deal. And it's not a big deal just for us who have built this data center, it's a big deal for everyone in this country. And also positioning Uganda very strategically in the same level as anyone else in the globe who's serious.
With that, we've come to the end of this week's edition of Man and Markets. Thank you for being part of the show. Now, we'd like to keep the conversation going. Drop us a line on the addresses on your screen so that we pick your mind, share comments, questions, or suggestions. Now, from me and team, we'd like to wish you a very good evening. Be well, stay safe. Until next time, God bless.